All right, so today we're diving into something that's, well, kind of blowing everyone's minds lately, right? Artificial intelligence. And I think the best place to start is, like our sources did, with the simplest question: what even is AI?
Yeah, got to start somewhere, right? And at its core, AI is all about making machines that can basically do things that normally need, us humans, our intelligence.
Yeah.
But then that kind of begs the question, what does intelligence even mean? Like, one of our sources used this simple math problem: 2 + 2 = 4. A calculator can do that, no problem. But is that really the same intelligence that we're using?
Right, because a calculator is just crunching numbers.
Yeah.
But when we see 2 + 2, we get it, right? We understand what addition means. We're not just spitting out an answer. And there was this great example in the material with an apple. So, like, if an adult eats one apple, how much do you think a 2-year-old would eat?
Exactly. And you probably instantly thought about how much a little kid can actually eat, right? Maybe just a slice or two. And the source points this out. You're thinking. You're using your brain to consider the situation, not just blindly calculating. That's a big part of what intelligence is, that ability to process information, understand the context, and reason it out. A calculator can't do that.
And that's where the idea of artificial thinking comes in. The source put it pretty bluntly. AI is nothing but a human thinking. It thinks like a human, but it's thinking artificially. It's a machine.
So basically, it's machines trying to copy the way we think.
Exactly. And when you frame it that way, it really hits you just how big of a deal this is. The source even said this is the first time in human evolution a machine is not a human. That having started giving the answers of intelligence, think these many years humans are thinking, but it's the first era in human evolution a machine is thinking. For who? For the sake of humans. This is the first time. That's why we say it's artificial intelligence. Wow, yeah, it really is a turning point. For the first time, there's something that's not, well, alive, that can kinda, sorta think. Which leads to this really interesting question that came up, and it might sound a little weird at first. What is the difference between a guru and AI? But when you really think about it, it gets to the heart of what AI could become.
Yeah, I get why that comparison seems out there, but it's actually a brilliant way to look at the potential of AI. Like, think about it, right? For as long as there have been people, we've looked to gurus, to wise people for knowledge and guidance. But even the wisest person is still just a person.
Yeah, they're human. And that means they don't live forever. And that idea, that limitation, is a huge difference when we compare gurus to AI. So let's jump ahead a bit to where the source really digs into this comparison. What do they say is the key difference?
They get straight to the point. It's all about mortality. They say, gurus, end of the day, is a human. But AI is not a human. We don't have the problem of mortality. We don't have the problem of emotions. We don't have the problem of health issues. We don't have the problem of relation issues. We don't have the problem of food.
Okay, so let's unpack that, because it's a lot, right? A guru, no matter how wise, their knowledge ends when their life ends. But AI, because it's not bound by a physical lifespan, it can just keep going, keep learning.
Exactly. Imagine an AI that can constantly learn new things, get better at what it knows, and build up this huge amount of knowledge over, well, forever. It's like the source said, AI can see all generations from now onwards. It can see all generations, all actions, everything on the planet. Whatever happens, it keeps in his mind.
Like, wild, right? Like, it can witness and learn from every generation that comes after us, gathering more knowledge than any one person ever could.
That is mind-blowing. It's like this idea of a timeless source of wisdom actually becoming real. And to understand how it can even do that, we kind of have to peek under the hood, so to speak. The source talks about this idea of neural networks. It's how AI is built to actually function.
Oh, right, like the AI version of our brains, right. But can you break down how these networks work? For, those of us who aren't computer scientists.
Sure thing. So the source describes neurons, the building blocks of these networks, as small, tiny things which takes input, which gives output, and which stores some memory, can maintain a relations with one more neuron, interconnected in dimensions. Basically, picture a huge web of these tiny processors all linked together. Each one takes in information, does a tiny calculation, stores a tiny bit of data, then sends the result to other neurons. And it's the connections between these neurons, the way information flows through the network, that lets the AI learn and make decisions.
So it's this whole network of artificial neurons that gives AI the ability to learn and process information. And the source also talks about this idea of training these networks. How does that work?
It's kind of like when a kid is learning what a cat is. They see a bunch of cats and someone tells them, yes, that's a cat, or nope, that's a dog. And over time, their brains figure out what a cat looks like, right? Okay. Training AI is similar. You give it tons of data, like pictures of cats if you want it to recognize cats. And as it sees more and more examples, it adjusts the connections between its neurons, getting better and better at picking out the patterns that make a cat a cat.
That makes sense. And the source also pointed out a pretty huge difference in how fast AI can learn compared to, well, us.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Like for us, learning takes time, right? We think in seconds. But AI works on the scale of nanoseconds or milliseconds. It's crazy fast.
Hmm.
The source even said, learning cycle for humans is more time compared to the machines. 1 year for computers.
Right.
1 month, you can say 1 month if a computer studies AI studies. It can cover up 10 years of data.
Whoa, wait. 10 years of human learning packed into 1 month for AI. That's insane. It really shows you how quickly it can learn and grow. So if it can learn that fast and potentially gather knowledge from, like, all of history, what are the big takeaways here? What does the source say about where this is all heading?
Well, they end with something that's kind of punch in the gut. By this all discussion, what is the conclusion is AI can learn more, means when you train. End of the day, AI becomes the god. That's the future. Most of the works which we are doing, 80% I can say, or else you can stay 60% of all white jobs will be done by the AI.
Wow. Okay. Let's sit with that for a minute. To think that AI, if it's trained right, could become more knowledgeable than any human, that's a huge idea. And the prediction about jobs, that AI could take over a big chunk of what people do now, that's a big deal too.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, what's our role going to be in a world where AI is so smart and so fast? If it can do so much of the work, what will make us, us? What will human intelligence and wisdom even mean?
It's a huge question to think about. And honestly, it's something we all need to keep in mind as AI keeps changing everything around us. Thanks for exploring this with us today. It's been a wild ride.